Hey friends, welcome back for another chapter of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Today we are reading chapter number 11. It is called The Miracle. Wow, with a chapter name like that, I think something very amazing is going to happen. Can you infer what you think is going to happen in this chapter? Now remember, last chapter we learned all about how Charlie's family was beginning to starve. There was not enough food in the house. They were all had only a barely little bit of food to eat. Charlie was starting to look like a skeleton, and it was the middle of winter. It started to snow, and the cold air was blowing in through their house, and they were freezing and hungry. And while Charlie was walking home from school, he found $1 in the snow, and he picked it up, and he thought about buying himself a chocolate bar and then bringing the rest of the money home to his mom. Let's see what happens in chapter 11. Charlie entered the store and laid the damp dollar bill on the counter. "One Wonka's Wimple Scrumptious Fudge Mellow Delight," he said, remembering how much he had loved the one he had for his birthday. The man behind the counter looked fat and well-fed. He had big lips and fat cheeks and a very fat neck. The fat around his neck bulged out around the top of his collar like a rubber ring. He turned and reached behind him for the candy bar. Then he turned back again and handed it to Charlie. Charlie grabbed it and quickly tore off the wrapper and took an enormous bite. Then he took another and another, and oh, the joy of being able to cram large pieces of something sweet and solid into one's mouth. The sheer blissful joy of being able to fill one's mouth with rich, solid food. So, did Charlie find the golden ticket? He bought a candy bar. He just started eating it, but it didn't say anything about a golden ticket. Maybe the miracle means that he just had enough money to buy food, that he wouldn't starve anymore. "You look like you wanted that one, Sonny," the shopkeeper said pleasantly. Charlie nodded. His mouth was bulging with chocolate. The shopkeeper put Charlie's change on the counter. "Take it easy," he said. "It'll give you a gut ache if you swallow it like that without chewing." Charlie went on wolfing the candy. He couldn't stop. And in less than half a minute, the whole thing had disappeared down his throat. He was quite out of breath, but he felt marvelously, extraordinarily happy. He reached out a hand to take the change. Then he paused. His eyes were just above the level of a counter. They were staring at the little silver coins lying there. The coins were all dimes. There were 9 of them altogether. Surely it wouldn't matter if he spent just one more. "I think," he said quietly, I think I'll have just one more of those candy bars. The same kind as before, please." "Why not?" the shopkeeper said, reaching behind him and again taking another Wimple Scrumptious Fudge Mellow Delight off the shelf, and he laid it on the counter. So Charlie had a birthday candy bar. He had one that Grandpa Joe bought. He just ate one that he found with the money, and he's buying a 4th one now with some of the money that he has left over. Charlie picked it up and tore off the wrapper, and suddenly, from underneath the wrapper, there came a brilliant flash of gold. Charlie's heart stood still. "It's a golden ticket!" screamed the shopkeeper, leaping about a foot in the air. "You've got a golden ticket! You found the last golden ticket! Hey, what do you know? Come and look at this, everybody! This kid found Wonka's last golden ticket! There it is! It's right there in his hands!" It seemed as though the shopkeeper might be going on to have a fit. "In my shop, too," he yelled. "He found it right here in my own little shop. Somebody call the newspapers quick and let them know. Watch out now, Sonny. Don't tear it as you unwrap it. That thing's precious. In a few seconds, there was a crowd of about 20 people clustering around Charlie, and many more were pushing their way in from the street. Everyone wanted to get a look at the golden ticket and the lucky finder. "Where is it?" someone shouted. "Hold it up so we can all see it." "There it is, there," someone else shouted. "He's holding it in his hands. See the gold shining?" "How did he manage to find it, I'd like to know?" a large boy shouted angrily. 20 bars a day I've been buying for weeks and weeks." "Think of all the free stuff he'll be getting too," another boy said enviously. "A lifetime supply." "He'll need it, that skinny little shrimp," a girl said, laughing. Charlie hadn't even moved. He hadn't even unwrapped the golden ticket from around the candy bar. He was standing very still, holding it tightly with both hands, while the crowd pushed and shouted all around him. He felt quite dizzy. There was a peculiar floating sensation coming over him, as though he were floating up in the air like a balloon. His feet didn't even seem to be touching the ground at all. He could hear his heart thumping away loudly somewhere in his throat. At that point, he became aware of a hand resting lightly on his shoulder, and when he looked up, he saw a tall man standing over him. "Listen," the man whispered. "I'll buy it from you. I'll give you $50. How about it, eh? And I'll give you a new bicycle as well, okay?" "Are you crazy?" shouted a woman who was standing equally close. "Why, I give him $500 for that ticket. You want to sell that ticket to me for $500, young man?" "That's quite enough," said the shopkeeper, shouting and pushing his way through the crowd and taking Charlie firmly by the arm. "Leave the kid alone, will you? Make way here. Let him out." And he led Charlie to the door and he whispered, "Don't you let anybody have it. Take it straight home quickly before you lose it. Run all the way and don't stop until you get there. You understand?" Charlie nodded. "You know something?" the shopkeeper said, pausing a moment and smiling at Charlie. "I have a feeling you needed a break like this. I'm awfully glad you got it. Good luck to you, Sonny." "Thank you," Charlie said, and off he went, running through the snow as fast as his legs could go. And he flew past Mr. Willy Wonka's factory. He turned and waved and sang out, "I'll be seeing you! I'll be seeing you soon!" And 5 minutes later, he arrived at his own home. Wow, it finally happened. On the 4th try, on his 4th candy bar, Charlie found the golden ticket. Think about how lucky it was. He found money laying in the snow, and he bought 2 candy bars with it because he was so hungry and he was so starving. And he found the golden ticket finally. The thing I find interesting, though, is I wonder if Charlie remembered to grab the rest of the money off the counter when he got his change back. Or maybe he just left it behind. Remember, he still had 80 cents left that he could bring home and give to his mom. I don't know. We have to infer that. All right, next time we read, we'll read chapter number 12, and we're going to learn what it says on the golden ticket. Thanks for listening, friends. Until next time.